What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the We Run With It podcast, hosted by Tim Murphy, and I'm joined again by my brother from another mother, Chris Mancini.
What's
up, bud?
up, buddy? How we doing?
How we feeling today?
Feel good. Feel real good.
Hell yeah.
Just gonna have a hard time sleeping.
So, yeah, we'll start with that then. We have a 50K in the morning. Yeah, I'll try and get this episode out tonight. So, or I shouldn't say try. I'll get this episode out tonight. So, as of right now, we have a ultra marathon 50K, Concord, Mass, at 6 a.m. So, in about 14 hours. How you feeling? You ready for it?
I'm ready, dude. I'm psyched.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been itching ever since May. Me and Jay did that 50K in Pittsfield, and it just was like different experience, man. So been dying to do one. We found this, and I'm psyched. So I feel good. Feel ready.
I'm ready to let it rip with the boys. Our buddy Tony's joining us too, so it will be fun. Which one of the subjects I wanted to talk to you about today, because it tickled my brain last week. It took me like a week for some reason, but 2 weeks ago I went on a run with Chris and Tony on Sunday morning at 6 a.m. And Tony texted us the night before and said, why don't we meet in a different parking lot so we start going downhill and then finish going uphill. And honestly, when he said it, I was kind of like, it was Saturday night. I was like in a mood where I'm like, dude, I'm running Sunday morning anyway. Like, most people are sleeping in. You know, the typical, like, I think I'm tough mentality, even though it's like, dude, it's just what we do. Anyway, I like running, and I like running with the boys. But to bring it all in is a week later, I don't know why, but it just popped in my head. I was like, I pride myself on thinking outside the box or, like, catching up on little things from people or just experiences in general. And it took me a week to realize I'd never even thought about going in a different direction in the sense of finishing uphill, because it's obviously easier to start on the uphill and finish on the downhill. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
what's your input on that for us?
Yeah, I agree. I loved that. I love that Tony threw that at us with a little bit of thought behind it, because he prefaced the whole run by saying that, like, get a different perspective on the run. And then while on the run, he started discussing the difference of, like, perspectives, right, and perspective shifts. So it was a really good way for him to kind of like hit us with that and then tie it in during the run. So that was cool. But yeah, I agree with you. It's we get, we talk a lot about routine and we talk a lot about habits. So we get just like in that habit of doing what we normally do, that sometimes it takes, a different perspective to kind of get us thinking in a different way, if that makes any sense. Like somebody, not that Tony's on the outside, but just an outside perspective to shift the way we're thinking and be like, oh yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't we change it? Why don't we do that more?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. You get caught in the routine, and sometimes you forget it's good to change things up, which kind of ties us back in. Like, I think that's part of why I'm so excited for tomorrow's race. Like, stepping outside the comfort zone, which we try to do naturally anyway, but like, a new course, new people, a new race, a new experience, a new challenge. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm with you on that. The perspective shift was nice.
Yeah, it was funny,
and it was a great run. I mean, we had great conversation, and it's always nice when you're feeling good and the conversation is just flowing. So that was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're getting Tony back tomorrow because he's doing the ultra marathon with us, and he normally doesn't trail run. So here's your run uphill last.
Oh yeah.
But no, I'm excited. It'll be good.
And I said the other day, sorry, not trying to talk over you.
Good.
I said this to him, and then I repeated it to you, but like, I'm almost more excited for Tony than I am for myself. Even though I'm really excited to do the run, but it being his first time doing an ultra marathon, not an asphalt marathon or asphalt race like we're used to, it's just going to be a completely different experience for him, and I'm excited to see how that pans out for him. You know what I mean? Because I know how it was for me, and it was, for lack of a better term, life-changing, honestly.
Yeah, I think the ultra marathons are.
Absolutely.
I mean, for me, I don't know. I guess the first ultra marathon was a little over 2 years ago, and the thing that I knew I loved trail running more than road running anyway was I've had my dog for 10 years, and luckily I lived near a trail
right
when I first got him, so it was just like my thing was to take him a mile or two on the trails. I wasn't a runner back then. I still don't really consider myself a runner now. It's just something I do, but I definitely put on a lot more miles now than I did back then. But that's what it takes me, like all my races, like my 50-mile race, I didn't have music for most of it. I didn't have a distraction. The 100-mile that I failed at mile 58, I had no music at all the whole day. I just raw dogged it. And I've done that a couple races, and it's just the trail race you can do that with because you're just out there. It's just something about it is different to me. I kind of talked about it in a previous podcast just by myself, but and why not bring it up now? It's like that to me is the difference between ultra and road racing. Road racing is the energy is wicked high, and it's electric, and it's more of a dopamine hit in the sense of you're surrounded by people. It's a really cool environment. Everyone's supporting each other, but it's a little more flashy. It's a little more just that quick dopamine hit instead of long lasting to me. And that's just my perspective. But the ultra is just like your gritty people who would run a 50K on a Saturday anyway. You know what I mean? Like that's to me, that's the ultra world compared to the straight marathon world, which nothing wrong with it. Yep. It's just it's funny to see the difference, or it's cool to see the difference, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. It's a different animal. There's no doubt. Like a road marathon is incredible, and even not participating in it, but even just to be there as a spectator.
Yeah, you
like
point.
There's that energy, dude, that vibration. You're just like, this is incredible. Like it's almost, not to be weird, but it's almost like emotional. You know what I mean? Because you're just seeing, this is like people stepping way out of their comfort zone, trying to be the best version of themselves, push themselves beyond what they thought was possible, right? Well, you have that, but then you also have the elite runners that are like, they're going for a PR. They're going for, minutes or even seconds faster than they've previously run, which takes insane commitment and dedication. Like on all levels, the energy is like electric. And then the support and the enthusiasm from everybody there, it's amazing. So if anyone has never done a marathon or even been there to cheer someone on, I highly recommend it. It's awesome.
Yeah, even a half marathon doesn't even.
Oh yeah.
Just like anything, any race like that. Yeah, you said
Agreed.
it better than I did. It's just that electric energy, like we said, but it's just everybody's there and they're proud to be there.
Yeah.
That's all good. The dog scratching himself. Hey, buddy.
But yeah, to get back to your point, the difference with that and the ultra scene, it's just a different animal. Neither one is better or worse than the other, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just different. Way lower of that like electric energy, at least external electric energy, but a whole different vibration as far as like what you feel or what your experience is. You know what I mean? It's way more internal, in my opinion. That's where you kind of have to go to that place in your mind where it's like you said, it's gritty. You just have to grit it out, and you gotta do what you gotta do to get through. But yeah, both amazing, both awesome experiences.
Yeah, I think you said it a lot better than me about people reaching, like the marathon that day for some people. I mean, for me too. You know, that's kind of what got me addicted. Was honestly like you signed up for it, and I was like, oh, this mother effer is 6 or 7 years old. I mean, this is his second one. And I'd done a half at that point, and I'd run a half like the year previously just on a random night because I was like, I need to prove to myself I can do it. It was just such a random thing that I did. But other than that, I was kind of happy with it for like this was like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm like, it's good, dude. I can do a half marathon. I'm good with that. And then Chris was like, oh, dude, I signed up for a marathon in a couple months. You got time. And I did it, and like we talked about, the energy was amazing. Being with the crowd, being with the people was awesome. But when I hit mile 21, it was like the worst experience of my life for a couple miles. Like, I didn't fuel properly. I didn't drink. Like at that point in running, I hated eating while I ran. I hated drinking anything, even water while I ran. Mm-hmm. So like by mile 21, 22, I'm like 3 hours in already, and it was like, I felt like death. Yeah. So it was like that experience. But then like not as soon as I left, but later that night, it was just stewing on me. I'm like, well, there's obviously, and I think this is kind of, well, we can go into the subject, like the comparison theory is like, that's when I think comparison works in your benefit, because I looked at other people and I'm like, well, they can do it. Like, I know people, like Chris has done too. I know people that have done a bunch and have gotten a lot better at them. Like, and then it's kind of like the comparison, but also the why not theory that we love to say. Like, instead of saying why or how, just be like, why not? Why not try it? Why not do it? Absolutely. And that's exactly what that was for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I know exactly what you mean. And I mean, it's the first time doing anything. It's a new experience. So yeah, those last miles are difficult, to say the least. Even after, a few marathons, or even after training those distances, obviously it gets easier in the sense that like it's familiar territory, right? It doesn't mean that it's easier per se, physically or mentally. It's just, it's not a brand new experience that you have to navigate. So yeah, the first time is definitely the most, like, the biggest shock to the system, no doubt. But to kind of touch on something you said, like afterwards, the way you felt, that's one thing I'll say about the 50K from May. I was immediately hooked. Like, and I don't know if it's just me or if other people feel this way, but like that course, we've talked about this many times, almost 32 miles for that course, 7,500 feet total elevation gain, treacherous terrain, like power hiking a lot of it because it's such difficult terrain. Took me and Jay almost 9.5 hours. But by the time after we finished, by the time we had like sat, kind of tried to fuel up with some food and some snacks and hydration, and by the time we were pulling out of the parking lot, like maybe 30 minutes after we finished, I was like, we got to find another one and sign up, like right now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
It's addictive.
Within 30 minutes, I'm like, I can't wait to do the next one. There was never a moment where I'm like, I'm never doing that again. It was the exact opposite. It was like, when can we do this again? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which brings us to where we are. Like last Friday, I'm just like, I wonder what's coming up. I Google ultra marathons local, like in the area. I see this one. I call you immediately. I'm like, you're the only fucking psychopath I know that's gonna say yes. Like, next Saturday, let's go.
And I promised myself I wouldn't do any races till High Rocks in 3 weeks.
Yeah, and you're like, yep, let's go.
Yeah.
It's just awesome, man.
Yeah.
You can't explain it. You can try, but like you just have to experience it yourself, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think the evolution too of not just like I said, not comparing ultra marathons or marathons, just like the evolution of, I don't know how to really put it, like striving for those miles. Like a lot of things start off egotistical or ego driven, which obviously isn't the best way to go about life. But like when I started, it was like half ego, half I just wanted to lose weight, and I knew running was the fastest way to lose weight or just get back in shape in general. And then like now I just honestly, when I don't run, I don't feel as good. Like it almost, it maybe call it the addictive personality. I don't know what it is, but like it's just something that I enjoy. Like I would go run for 2 hours through the woods anyway, or go on a 2 hour run on the road with the boys or something like that, regardless. And I think training now looks more to me like being ready. So when a buddy does call me or someone does call and say, hey, I got a race next weekend, I'm ready to go. I might not run my best time, or I might not, but I'm not gonna like leave the course because I'm not ready for the race. I'm just gonna have to go slower, or barring any injury. I know I'm finishing.
Yeah.
And it's like that to me has become my favorite part about the marathons and ultra marathons, is like the training you do to stay just ready for them makes you feel so good in every other aspect of life.
Absolutely, man.
And it's like everything else is a lot easier when you can gut out stuff like that, you know what I mean? And then also be able to hit CrossFit workouts and this and that, like
for sure,
well-rounded workouts.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like we ran the other day, and I was saying to you, and I said it kind of in a joking manner, but you knew what I meant. I said like those races are the training in a way. So it is true. It's like you're not training for any one thing or any one moment. It's all training. Like that's just what you do. It's part of your life. It's who you are, who I am, who we are, people that do these things. We have a race tomorrow, but that's not the goal. That's not the end. There's no finish line. So like tomorrow's race, although it's a race, it's just part of the training plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Which goes right along with what you were saying about like just always being ready. Just, doing what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the only way, in my opinion. And I agree. Like if you're not, I don't know, if you're not pushing those boundaries. What did I say in the group text? Like, got to find out where those boundaries are. You know what I'm saying? Got to figure that out. So doing shit like this is what helps you figure it out.
I agree. They call that either boundaries or F around and find out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying not to swear. I'm trying to be a good boy.
Oh, sorry.
But you're good. I didn't even notice if you did or not, because I normally swear so much.
Yeah.
I was about to say something before I just took myself off track. Where was I going?
How are you feeling? Are you ready?
Actually, I mean, honestly, I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
So I can't complain at all for whatever happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like I've been putting in the miles. I haven't had any serious injuries. So pretty much all year, besides like stupid self-induced things,
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden ramping up mileage for a 100-mile race the week before a 100-mile race.
Yeah.
So I'm good. That's where I caught myself. What I was gonna say was, like, to me, I know people. I guess this is for people that are new to me and you, because people that know me and you that are listening to this podcast know we're not all hardo 100% of the time. You know what I mean? I guess what role does like just having that effort mentality, but in like a non-serious way, like this is where I think me and you might differ a little bit with life, or in perspective. Like the only place we differ in perspective, which is why we're friends, is like I try not to take life too seriously, but sometimes I think maybe I don't take it seriously enough. Mm-hmm. But I want to know your thoughts on like the serious.
Give me an example. Why do you say that?
Well, just for people, I guess for people struggle. For me, I don't know if this is necessarily an example, but I'll give you like my mindset with it is like, for me, I've been stuck in modes where I get whatever's in front of me is whatever's in front of me, and like nothing else matters. Like the blinders are on, which I get time and a place for that, but sometimes I get stuck in that so long. Mm-hmm. I forget that like I have family. I forget that I'm single and I should probably go make relationships. I forget like a lot of things besides that one goal, which I'm like, I'm the fun person, which I like. I like being the fun person. I like bringing energy to the room, and sometimes when I get in those moods, it's almost like, I don't know. It's almost like too much of an ego thing for me, which it might not be. It's just that's how it feels. Like, who am I benefiting by doing this other than myself when I'm that locked in? So I was curious on your perspective on that mindset.
Yeah, we could go a lot of different ways with this, but like, I guess I would kind of put it back to you again with like, what's the right answer, right? Where's the playbook? Like, I don't know where I haven't found it.
Yeah, no, that's true.
If you have it, let me see it, because like there is no playbook to life, right? Yeah. That's like the beauty of it. I think that the mentality that you possess, and we're very similar in that regard, right? Of like, you just run with it, right?
Yeah.
But there is no, this is my philosophy, okay? And what do I know? Take it for what it is. But there's no right or wrong answer. Or let me rephrase that. There's no wrong answer, right? Whatever you do is what you do. It's not wrong, right? There's no rules, dude. There's no rules. So I love, and I think I admire the way that you just lock in and focus on what you want to focus on and do what you want to do, right? I do the same, but in very different ways. You know what I mean?
Oh, you could lock in more than me.
Well, here's the thing. Like, we get wrapped up in these like stigmas of like, oh, you're 31, you should be settled down by now, and you should do this and that, and like, sure, like if that's what you do, then that's the right move. But if it's not what you do, doesn't mean it's wrong. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. I'm not a big advocate of like following like these unwritten rules just for the sake of following them. You know what I mean? Because that's like, you can't will something like that to happen. It's like, okay, well, now I'm going to settle down. Like, no, dude, when the time is right, the time is right, and it'll happen. Like, when you meet that person, it will happen. Like, there's no doubt. You know what I mean? It's just what it is, in my opinion, you know? So I don't, this might sound crazy, outside of anything like insane and illegal and like all that type of stuff. Like, there is no wrong way, you know what I mean, to live. It's to each their own. I think anybody that's gonna like impose, or not impose, anybody that's gonna say that like you should do this, you should do that, or you should live a certain way, or not live a certain way, like, I don't know. I feel like there's almost projecting their own insecurities because you're in a different position than they are, and maybe there's some animosity in that regard. You know what I mean? Who can just up and move to Montana and move to Florida, or do whatever they feel, right? Call it what you want, but like, dude, it's your life. You only get one of them, and
true.
Who says you got to do it any certain way?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess that's why I'm glad I pulled that information out of you. You know, it's it's for people. I think a lot of people struggle with either one or the other, like the total lock-in, which is like why I brought it up and wanted to see your perspective on it. Obviously, I know your perspective, but for the podcast's sake, I know the wisdom you have, and people like, you got married when, in your mid-20s?
24.
24, yeah. And then had 3 kids pretty much right away.
26, right? 28, 32.
And Chris is just like, so like the flip side is like, I've just done things like move here, move there, freedom for me, because I was single and I just have a dog. But for Chris, he could have easily, like, he had a job that made a pretty decent living and was pretty comfortable and could have rode it out until retirement. And even though he's only 38, but that's what everybody in like our area would have said, you know. And with 3 kids, a wife to support, and, you know, every day obviously living, he still decided to do his own thing and build his own company, and that way he could hire the people he wanted, that way he could make the impact he wanted with not just the electric company, but like with how he treats people in general, which I think a lot of people in our world, it's one of the last things I wanted to touch on today, is like a lot of I only know the blue collar space, obviously. So for me, it's like, I think a lot of people in our spaces look at employees as like, oh, he's just a laborer. Oh, he's just, you know, he's just getting the job done for me for now and whatever. I wanted your input and again, this is just me going off on the blue collar world, because that's all I know. I'm not saying, I just, to me, because there's a physical, you see the people every day. You have to physically work with them every day, whereas like I can't relate to a work from home job in the sense of like, you might, I don't really know how it works, but I don't think you like talk to your boss every morning, or, you know, have to see people a couple hours every day. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do you bring your energy and your perspective on everything else, like, to the blue collar world?
How do I bring it to the blue collar world?
Or yeah, I mean, there's slash, like, or to make it a little more clear, like, what, I wouldn't say end goal, but like, what do you bring to the employees? What do the employees bring to you? And like, what was one of the, doesn't have to be the biggest, but just like, what was one of the reasons why you've always wanted to start a business in that space?
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's a lot to unpack there. I'll just skim over, like, you brought up having 3 kids and a wife and a mortgage and bills and responsibilities, right? So
it's like all that shit.
Yeah, all that. So yeah, but here's the thing, right? Like, you know, you said something about ego earlier, and I think that's the short answer right there, is like the elimination of your ego, right? So sure, on paper I was successful, right? Of every metric you could measure, sure, I was successful financially, married, children, all this stuff, all the things that you think make somebody a success, okay? But truth be told, like, I knew that there was more for me, and I don't mean more financially or materially. I just mean, like, I was capable of more. There was something bigger out there for me to pursue, right? So I'm not advocating for people to be reckless in their decision making. Like, you have to be smart, you have to plan, and most importantly, especially if you're married or have a serious relationship, like, you have to be on the same page with that person and be able to plan together, discuss your goals, what ifs, you know what I mean? What if we fail? What if, you know, all the possibilities. So, like, there's a lot of planning and strategy that goes behind it. So we started having those conversations, Megan and I, and, you know, we worked a lot of things out, and we planned financially, and then we determined when the best time to make that move was, and then we executed. You know what I mean? We put things in place, and we just did it. So far, so good, right? We've already gone over all that stuff. But there was a couple of things that led me to that decision. One was like, I knew, first question, not the first question. This took a long time to find this correct question. But the first thing I'll say is, what would I regret more 20 years from now, right? Would I regret leaving my current role and the situation I had to go and try something? Or would I regret staying and never have tried at all, right? And that's an easy answer for me. Easily, I would regret never trying. You know what I mean? And a big factor that helped me get to that decision was realizing that like most of the decisions we make are reversible, right? Like, so if I left and did this and it failed, I can still go and work somewhere else and support my family. Like, my kids aren't going to starve. You know what I mean? Life goes on. It's reversible. I can go back. You know what I mean? Maybe not back to that company or back to that exact role, but in some capacity, like, you can't take your knowledge and experience and you still have that resume, so you can reverse course and go back to what you were doing. You know what I mean? So understanding that and how I felt about my current situation or then, it was an easy decision to get to, right? And then, you said, like, how do I bring my mindset to the blue collar world? Like, I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. And that's just me being completely honest. Like, I always said, like, my goal was to create a work environment that, like, I want to be at. You know what I mean? Like, that I want to be in. Create a company that I would want to work for. You know what I mean? And I try to do that. And I've done a lot of things right, but I've done a lot of things wrong too. It's all part of the learning experience. If you ask any one of the guys that work here, like, they'll tell you the same. Like, yeah, there's, like, we do things that are awesome and we it's a great place to work, but, like, I'm sure you could pull it out of them. Like, there's a lot of things I don't know, and, like, we've tried certain things and they haven't really gone the way we thought, so then we pivot and we change it up. But, like, I just think if I'm acting on behalf of, like, what I think is best for myself, and not just myself, for everybody and for the company as a whole, and I'm being 100% genuine and honest, like, everything will work out, and I have all the guys for feedback, like the communication, and I bounce ideas off of TJ especially, but all the other guys, like, what do we think about this? What do we think about that? And it's a collaborative effort. Like, nothing can be done in a vacuum. You know what I mean? You need a great team. That's the only way you're going to be able to get things done, is with a great team that can have good communication, honest feedback, and understanding the goals, both as a team and individually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We talked recently, you and I, about doing this together. I've started doing this with the guys here, but, like, having a weekly meeting, even if it's for 5 minutes, what are the goals for the week? A professional goal. What are we trying to accomplish this week? Okay. And we write it down. And then what's a personal goal that you're working towards, right? Like, maybe your goal this week is to run 15 miles or read 3 chapters in a book, or one chapter, or whatever it is.
Cook
right?
your wife dinner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Seriously.
Go on a date. You know what I mean?
100%. It can be anything.
Yeah.
And, like, when you can share like that, and then everybody has a little bit of a deeper understanding of the overall goal as a team, but also the individual goals, individual personal goals, we can all help each other accomplish those goals as a team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
because I like that you do that, because it takes like the robot feeling out of the job too, and brings the human side to it, in the sense of, like I was just saying, a lot of what we do can be, this is X amount of work we got to get done. Just go do it. Boss man doesn't care. Some companies you work for, you've never even met the boss. You know what I mean? So I think it's cool. I mean, obviously you're younger and growing company, but I think it's a unique idea to do that, because then it brings a personal side to work, and not in. It's not like too vulnerable either way. Like it's just kind of like, hey man, what do you want to get done this week? And that way, when somebody checks in on you or says like, hey, did you get this done? It's not like, oh, what the hell, man? Like there shouldn't be much aggression there, because it's like, hey, this is what you said 4 days ago. You know what I mean? Like you said, oh, after work, I want to hit the gym 3 times this week. You've only been once, and it's Friday. Yeah. So I'm just checking. Like, are you going these next 2 days, or what's going on?
Accountability.
Yeah, and it takes like the personal dig out of it, rather than just being like, hey, did you actually put in work? Hey, did you actually get this done? It's like clear, concise goals for the week.
Absolutely, man. And just to be clear, like, it's all a work in progress. Like, it's not perfect by any means. It's very far from it. This week in particular, it's a short week. We have a lot of work going on. We got a big job. Guys are starting early. We didn't have that meeting this week. You know what I mean? We came in on a Tuesday after a long weekend, like right off the bat. You know what I mean? It's like everything that didn't happen Monday waited for Tuesday morning. So the week came in hot and heavy, and like it's just been gas pedal all week. Really haven't met until this afternoon. Last minute, quick recap of the week and conversation about where we're headed for next week. You know what I mean? So like, that's all part of it though, is being able to being able to adapt. And roll with it, run with it.
Comes everything. Well, brother, we're going to do a lot more of these, and we're going to do one after the Ultra tomorrow to give a little recap, and then we'll hit some other topics too. So we'll wrap this up for today if you're good with it. You got anything you want to get out?
No. I mean, hopefully I'm on the next one. I'm not saying that I finished 3 hours after you on this Ultra. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
We'll see how I do tomorrow. It's not over yet, but yeah. All right, brother. Well, thanks for running with it, and we'll check in with you guys soon. Peace out.
Buddy. See ya.